from them 90 plus 10 minutes, which means we have 3 sides who've started the season with maximum points: Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur and the champions Liverpool. 4 points so far for Chelsea, who's had that 5-1 win on Friday night, and Nottingham Forest, who got a point at Palace yesterday. 3 points for City, Sunderland, and first wins for Everton, Bournemouth and Brentford this weekend to get them on to 3 points. And so too, Burnley. Leeds brought back down to earth at the Emirates have their first win on the board. 2 draws for Fulham and for Crystal Palace. 1 point from 2 games for Newcastle United. So too for Manchester United, for Aston Villa, who await their first goal, for Brighton, and nothing so far for Wolves and West Ham United. Arne Slot speaks to us live now. Well, congratulations, first of all, Arne. How would you sum up the 90 plus 10 minutes that we've just experienced?
Now, when I heard you correctly, you were saying football match. I'm not too sure if I saw a football match today. It was set piece after set piece, long throw. It didn't have a lot to do with tactics, what I said before the game. But I liked a lot how we stood strong. Very difficult first half hour, 45 minutes. But we didn't collapse at all. We stood strong. And as a result of that, we came 1-0 up. They going down to 10 men, you would expect that is a big plus for us. But yeah, when a goalkeeper takes every free kick, then there's not so much help if you are 1 player up. And that's why it was so difficult for us to bring the 2-0 over the line.
Boss, congratulations. As you said, Jamie and I played a lot of games like that back in the days. Trust us. But Jamie and I spotted something.
Playing style then.
Jamie and I spotted something on the free kicks. A lot of the free kicks, the line that you were having wherever they were trying to throw the ball in, you had it very low. The line was very low. And on the goal, Van Dijk decided. And what was the thought process of that? You got punished, and it's easy now because you got punished. It's easy for us to bring it up. But you did it the whole game. You played low to attack the ball, and on that one you went high.
True. I don't think it's fair to blame Virgil. It's a combination. He has contact with us at the bench. All the other ones were further up the pitch. So we know what their idea is. They bring the ball to the D. Dan Burn is there attacking a ball, trying to make it difficult. There were a lot of difficult situations for us coming off that. So either a second ball or a throw-in or another corner kick. So at that moment of time, we decided that because the ball was so deep, that it was smarter not to get a second ball inside our 18-yard box again. But that was definitely the wrong decision in that moment, looking back at it.
For all that you said about the style of football that you faced tonight, Arne, having taken the lead just right at the start of the second half, were you disappointed with what your team gave you from that point on in the second period? I think your first shot after going 2-0 up was the winning goal.
Yeah, we didn't play well enough with the ball. Every time when we came in the end phase of an attack, our attackers immediately tried to force something, which never led to anything. A few crosses that ended up behind the goal. But like I said, I have to look back at it, but I don't think there was so much open play to be played. And as I said, in a set piece, a long throw and a long ball from the goalkeeper, you don't need an extra. Yeah, it's always nice to have an extra man, but it does not so as beneficial as if they want to bring the ball out from the back and we can press them. So yes, with the ball, the one and only attack that was good in the second, apart from maybe the 2-0, but when after that was the one that led to the goal, which was a great attack. And for the first time, we went from right to the middle to the left, and a great goal for a 16-year-old.
And the impact of the substitution, the young boy Rio, is caused huge excitement, I think, amongst Liverpool supporters, certainly in the pre-season games. And on the fact of Luis Diaz moving on, does it make you almost change maybe your thought process in terms of maybe replacing Luis Diaz in this next week because you've got such a young special talent like Rio?
Yeah, we have, and he's shown that already a few times. And what I like maybe most from our players is that after the 2-2, I think we had to defend 5 set pieces, 3 throw-ins and 2 free kicks. I don't know how many, maybe I exaggerate a bit. And that wasn't a moment for me to bring Rio and Javi in, because the both of them are not so tall. But I did feel, because it was 2-2, to bring 2 players in that can do something special in a moment. And then it's always nice that he scores a goal. I do remember, Jamie, before the game.
I knew that he was coming back.
I'm delighted to be proved wrong, boss, I can assure you.
Yeah, no, but you were right. Last season I could bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Luis Diaz and Dominic Szoboszlai. But the end result is not the same, because last season we were 3-2 up in the last minute and they scored the 3-all, and today it was 2-2 and we could score in the last minute. But I think this is also what makes the Premier League special. Maybe it wasn't the best game in terms of tactics or in terms of playing football, but I think every fan everywhere around the world enjoyed watching this game of football. Also, because their fans were amazing in terms of the help they gave the home team.
Absolutely, Arne. It was a great watch. And when that ball falls to Rio with 100 minutes on the clock, did you expect him to score?
It was a big chance. And he's a player that can finish really well for his age. So how firm his shot was, you don't see this often. And for a 16-year-old, I did hear someone say afterwards in the dressing room, I'm not going to say who it was, but I probably would have taken that ball, have a first touch and then finish it off. But he's so confident. That's also what I like, because the first ball he got, he wasn't afraid. He immediately took someone on. And when the second player came, he even got a cross in. And for him to score that goal is not completely coincidence, because he's for his age, he's a really good finisher as well.
It was an amazing finish, as was the second goal. You didn't actually see it, did you, Arne?
No, I was still inside. So, I heard people cheering, so being happy, and I was like, this can't be a red card for us, because then the whole stadium will be much louder and they can't have scored. So what must have happened? I thought maybe a player coming in for them. Walked out. I heard it was a goal for us, so pleasant surprise.
But now this game is out of the way, Arne, the burning question, do you anticipate there to be conversations between the higher-ups at both clubs about the future of Alexander Isak?
I think the story should be about Hugo Ekitike scoring another goal for us. And it wouldn't be fair for me to talk about anything else. He's been 3 games with us now, scored 3 goals. Impacted the games he played, and as the other ones of my attackers. And this is not the place to talk about anything else than that, in my opinion. But I can understand you asking.
Yeah, we will watch this space. Arne, well, it was a joy to watch. I know you didn't feel it was a flowing football contest, but it was certainly entertaining. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Entertaining, that's a better word than a joy to watch, in my opinion. But
Thank you, Arne, as ever. Well done.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Where should we go? Should we go back to the start? All right, what do you make of? We'll tell you what. We're going to go to a break in a minute, but let's just sum up what we heard from Arne Slot there. And it was interesting because the very first question was open-ended about the kind of game that he thought it was. His response straight away was on, this wasn't football.
Well, this is why I said what I said, because we played sometimes in games like that, and the Premier League sometimes will give you a game like that. But what I like about what he said, and Jimmy, and we were talking about it, so many times they were not patient enough on the ball. Every time they put the ball down and they tried to make 3 to 4 passes to go on the right and on the left, they did open up Newcastle. But they didn't do it very often. I don't know why. Obviously the crowd, they got bullied at times. They were over them. But, I think they got away with one tonight, Liverpool. But look, that's how it is. It reminds me of, the other day when Arsenal won at Man United. People were talking more about Man United than Arsenal. Same thing tonight, but they managed to find a way to win it.
Through strength, like he said?
I'm not sure. I mean, you mentioned the duels in the first half. I thought Liverpool lost a lot of duels in the first half. And in some ways, people always say the best way to win is with a last-minute winner. Of course, everybody knows that. But in some ways, the way Liverpool won is almost the worst way to take away the last minute goal, but in terms of like you're being dominated, you've 10 men, you're hanging on at the end, but they found a way to win. So I said Eddie Howe and Newcastle will be so disappointed tonight, but in the morning they look at each other and think we were outstanding. I think it'll almost be the opposite for Liverpool. They were absolutely ecstatic in that dressing room, but when the coaches and the players get back to the training ground, the AXA, in the next couple of days, it will be like we need to sort ourselves out.
I think he was talking about Van Dijk.
Oh, Van Dijk
You
was
have to say
outstanding.
at the very end, if you compare Van Dijk and Konate in terms of clearing the ball and the impact that he had on going and
That's like comparing me and you.
no, but I think Van Dijk was immense tonight once again.
Intense, probably what you expected. There was aggression, there was everything, there were injuries, there were sending offs, and there was a last-minute winner in added time from a 16-year-old.
Yeah, obviously we all know it's a difficult place to come. We all know that there was a lot of oil on the fire, I would say, this week in order to get especially Newcastle fired up. And what happened tonight, obviously, it was expected. I think for us, the disappointed part is that we conceded 2 of set pieces, and that shouldn't happen. But overall, great 3 points, move on, and focus on the next one.
How much credit do you give Newcastle? Because they looked as if they had 11 players on the pitch towards the end.
Yeah, obviously free kicks, corner kicks, obviously then the pressure gets on, and they have the quality. I think if you look at all the traditional top 6 here last year, I think there's only a couple that actually managed to beat them. So it's always a difficult place to come. And it was today the same. I think I enjoy this type of atmosphere as well, so I was really looking forward to it. But I think we could have made it a little bit easier if you don't concede those set pieces, and then you give them the boost and the feeling and the drive that with the fans behind them, of course. But we managed to get the 3 points and we move on.
You say you enjoy these kind of evenings, these nights at St James's Park, but you yourself, you were involved in that sending off on the receiving end of that foul. What did Anthony Gordon say to you as he was trying to talk to you on the pitch?
Well, I said to him, if this is not sending off, then I don't understand football. So I think it was already strange that the manager has to go to the monitor, in my opinion. But listen, unfortunately these things happen in football. If you meant it or not, it happened. We move on. That's it.
A word on Rio. I know we spoke about him briefly at the start of this interview, but to finish it off, it was the coolest of finishes, and at such a young age as well, just coming on, Premier League debut, boom.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a dream debut for him. I think that whole attack was quite good. Harvey, I think, started it, or right-hand side, and obviously I think Freddy did the dummy. So it was a perfect attack. We stayed calm towards the end as well, try and find the right solution in order to score a goal, and we did it. So I'm very, very pleased for Rio. I've mentioned it before to him already. It's all a start now. He has to keep working hard and stay humble, but definitely have to enjoy this, because these nights you can't take for granted, of course, if you're in his position. And I'm sure with the players that we have, he will be back in training and having a hard session tomorrow again, and then we carry on.
I saw Curtis celebrating with him at the end, spraying with him with a bottle of water, because that's all they've got at hand. How long does it take, Virgil, to get that rhythm and to find that rhythm that you became champions last season?
Games. It's the only way. I think there were many good things today. Obviously, what I said, I think the beginning was very intense. All was expected. If you're going to try and be sure that you're the best team on the ball, they will come and attack you from behind and press them, and with the fans behind them. So we had to be a little bit more direct. And at a certain point, when the fans started to quiet down a little bit, then you have time to play. And I think we did that well. And like I said, it's a very tough place to come. And with their fans behind them, great fans, and it's always difficult to come here.
Rest well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you.
The most remarkable end to an extraordinary football match. And we will go through it blow by blow, but let's just focus on that.
Oh yeah.
This is his moment.
Composure, the ball is coming well on the ground, so both side knows he's there, but you're like, oh, if I score, this is going to be amazing. Look, it slows down. It bounces a bit, and then guide it. he does guide it, and then you can enjoy it. I mean,
But it seems that there's so much conviction about that.
oh, you have to be. But
And finish to what has been an extraordinary football match tonight at St James's Park, and here is the winning boss.
Yes, the senior pros will keep his feet on the ground, but what a moment. Over to Michael Owen, because he has the best insight of this from anyone off the bench. I mean, as I said, unfortunately, yours wasn't the winner, but you can know what it means to come through, get your opportunity and come off and score like this. But he's been on the pitch less than 5 minutes.
And absolutely. I mean, it was a wonderful finish. He's obviously got a lot of talent. Maka sees him a lot, or has seen him a lot at the academy. He's a very direct player, got great feet. You know, he is exciting. Possibly, a lot of people thought he was too young, maybe. Would he have had his chance if happenings hadn't occurred over the summer? Liverpool losing 3 attacking players. But these things, you know, are meant to be in many ways, and he was meant to be there today in that position with that incredible finish. I mean, the confidence of him to do that. The best thing about that finish was there was really no options. The ball coming from that side on your right foot, it is a hard right foot, side foot finish into the far corner. There are no real options. Yes, you can pull it into the near post, but that really is the obvious option. So he didn't have anything on his mind other than, right, this is the finish, this is what I'm going to do.
And the one thing you would say about he has scored a couple of goals in pre-season, which may or may not, that he's played at Anfield.
But that situation's
But
different.
that is a different situation. And Liverpool saved their best bit of football, their best move to the 100th minute. I mean, talk about getting out of jail, talk about getting out of trouble and rewriting a new game. You know, if they would have finished 2-2, you would have thought, you know, how on earth have Liverpool got away with a draw? And then they go and get 3 points out of it. No wonder Virgil kept on saying, we move on, because the more you focus on it, the more errors, the more questions you've got. And it was an incredibly strange performance, but an magnificent result. Very strange. I felt sorry for Newcastle. I really did. Everything went against Newcastle tonight, and then they concede in injury time like that.
And we feel sorry for Mo as sort of year by year his records tumble. I mean, in fairness, you've held this one for a long time, but you have been knocked off your perch as Liverpool's youngest ever Premier League goal scorer. Maka almost made that graphic, by the way. 19 you were with research when you scored for the first time.
Okay, well, why didn't you put it on there?
They could have elongated it.
Yeah.
Well, it's Sean, the producer, who does this, not me.
Is that Sean? Was he a Newcastle fan? No, he's not a Newcastle. Hobbs is a Newcastle fan.
But
he's too
as your
busy
friend, I
crying,
was
think,
mentioning that you scored at
goalie.
19. But yeah, he's beaten some names.
And the good thing is, listen, players can be decent and showing a bit of form and showing some talent, and maybe at the end of the season there's nothing on it and they come on and they score the 5th goal in a 5. That was the real deal today. He'll always look back on that and think the feeling of scoring the winning goal, it wasn't just his first goal ever. It was so important. I know we're early on in the season. You don't want to be losing ground. Liverpool have got Arsenal next. All of a sudden, if they get beat there and they're 5 points behind, that's a lot of catching up. I know it's a long season. You don't want to be doing that. That is such an important goal for Liverpool. Forget who scored it, but that lad now.
But we can't forget who scored it, because it's such a story, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
He just picked up his GCSE results last week.
It's amazing, isn't it? You had the youngster at Arsenal, of course, who's been very good for a while, and now you've got Rio doing exactly the same.
From St James's Park, Liverpool's first goal scorer returning after a suspension tonight. Ryan Gravenberch waiting to speak to us. Ryan, well done. I mean, what a win. What a game that was to watch. What on earth was it like to play in?
Sorry?
What on earth was that game like to play in?
Yeah, it was crazy. But we know if you come here, that's a really tough place, a really good team. They're really physical, they fight to the end, and we saw that today.
And Rio Ngumoha, we've just been talking about. I mean, he picked up his exam results last week. To come on and do that ahead of his 17th birthday, I mean, it's fairy tale stuff, isn't it?
It's crazy, yeah? I think for him it's a dream that come true. He worked really hard. You have seen him in pre-season. He did really well. And then if you do this today, can't be better.
Ryan, well played. It's Michael Owen here. Obviously, you were missed in the first game. Lots of counter-attacks against Liverpool. You were there to solidify it. But you ended up scoring a goal as well. I thought you were going to shoot with your second touch, but you took another touch again and then delayed it. As soon as you hit it, did you think it was in?
Yes, I think it was deflected.
Just a small one?
Yes. I wanted to shoot at first, but my touch was not that great, so I took an extra touch, and it was nice that it went in. really happy with my first goal this season.
Ryan, Steve McManaman here. I just wanted to ask, what was it like to play him? Because at times Liverpool seemed to struggle against the 10 men of Newcastle.
Yeah, we know what I said. We know Newcastle's a really tough team. We have seen it last season when we played here. Also in the final, we lost against them. So it's really tough, but I think, we have such a good fighting spirit, and then we fight till the end. And I'm happy we got the 3 points.
Yeah, just even at this stage of the season, how big is that win, given the fact you've got Arsenal coming up next at Anfield as well?
Yeah, really good feeling. Obviously, what I said, we know it's a tough place, so I'm happy that we have the 3 points, and we have to prepare for Arsenal because they are really good as well.
Very well done. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us, Ryan.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Ryan.
Thank you.
It's Ryan Gravenberch live at St James's Park. Here's the other side of the story. The Newcastle skipper, Bruno Guimarães.
There was a lot of emotion attached. There was a lot of noise. We obviously know what everybody is talking about right now if you're a Newcastle fan. With Anthony Gordon, did it just kind of tip over a little bit? Those emotions get the better of him?
Yeah, he want to play. I think he want to play the ball. I think he called me later. I have not seen the video back. I don't know if it was for red card, but they have seen. So I think he want to help too much. I cannot say anything because I have not seen the video, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think sometimes you are so excited to play, you make some mistakes. This already happened to me, so we are with Gori for this moment.
Yeah, really tough one for Newcastle to take share. They go to Leeds next on Saturday. Suspensions, as you said, injuries, and 1 point from 2 games.
Yeah, it's a big week coming up, I think, for Newcastle. And I think, as we've seen before, the chairman's there for a reason, not just to watch the game tonight, but I do believe he's there to do some business. Hopefully one of the businesses is keeping Alexander Isak and maybe pan out. But, you know, Guimarães spoke really well in a sense as the captain. They stick together. Anthony Gordon maybe was trying too hard nearly for the team. I think since the Isak sort of drama or whatever you want to call it, I think the players have really sort of come together. And I think the performance tonight, you know, deserves such great credit, Steve. It's a brilliant performance, and I feel for Eddie Howe and his team as well, and even the fans tonight. They didn't deserve to lose that game right at the end, but that's football, as they say. It's a tough night for them.
I think it's fair to say as well, something like that, all the problems off the pitch with Isak, with Newcastle not really hitting the ground in the transfer market as well, it could have been a lot of frustration, but I think it is fair to say the club is really, really united at the moment. I mean, that was a fantastic performance. We say how poor Liverpool were, but Newcastle made them look poor at times as well, especially with 10 men. It was an incredible performance. They can lick their wounds tonight, but hold their heads up high.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for your time, gentlemen. Liverpool's night. But when Newcastle play Liverpool in the Premier League, it's always one not to be missed. And tonight didn't disappoint.